Hi guys, welcome back. By now you should have completed 3 lessons that covered the decade of the 1980s and the presidency of Ronald Reagan. With this lesson, we'll close out the 1980s and discuss the presidency of George Herbert Walker Bush. Please watch the video, use the clues to complete the video quiz, then complete the Berlin Wall worksheet.
Mr. Gorbachev, open this gate. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Despite the Iran-Contra scandal, Reagan and his administration remained popular. In 1988, Reagan's vice president, George H.W. Bush, ran for president and won. President Bush enjoyed great popularity for a while. He had been Reagan's vice president and in many ways continued with the policies of the Reagan era. Thanks to the foreign policy of the Reagan era, communism began to crumble in Europe. Since World War II, control of Germany had been divided between the Soviet Union, or the USSR, and the US and its allies. The Berlin Wall, a barrier between the communist and free sides of Germany's capital city, was seen by many as a symbol of communist tyranny. As the people of the Soviet Union, again USSR, began to aggressively seek freedom from communist rule, Soviet-controlled nations and territories followed their example. In 1989, the people of Berlin gathered by the thousands to tear down the Berlin Wall, which they did piece by piece with their bare hands. By 1990, Germany was once again united as a single nation. In 1991, the Soviet government fell apart. Mikhail Gorbachev resigned, and free elections were held. Boris Yeltsin was elected by the people and took over the USSR. He moved the country away from communism and formed it into what it is today, the Commonwealth of Independent States. It became a collection of loose, small nations. Since then, several of those states, such as Ukraine, have declared their independence and become their own nations. In 1990, Iraq invaded Kuwait, a major supplier of oil that was a small neighboring country to Iraq. The U.S. and the United Nations organized 39 nations to free Kuwait by fighting the Persian Gulf War. The UN successfully moved the Iraqis out of Kuwait, but left Iraqi leader Saddam Hussein in power. The success of the Gulf War gave President Bush a boost in his popularity. But by the time of the presidential election of 1992, that success had been forgotten by many. Bush had alienated many of the conservatives in his party, the Republicans, by breaking his 1988 campaign pledge against raising taxes. His campaign for re-election was further damaged by the popularity of a powerful businessman named Ross Perot, who was running for president as an independent, and by another strong opponent, Democrat Bill Clinton. On Election Day, enough Republicans voted for Perot that Bush did not have the votes he needed to defeat Clinton. Although Ross Perot came in last in the election, he succeeded in helping Bill Clinton become the 42nd President of the United States. That's it for this video. Make sure that you have answered all the questions on the video quiz and complete the worksheet on the Berlin Wall.